The purpose of this presentation is to provide you with an overview of the Tuckman's team development model. This is a four-stage development model about teams that exist in a whole plethora of different models that focus on team development. The reason I like to focus on a team development model is because it's really important to kind of help the students see the stages that a team goes through once they have formed or have been assigned to work together. I think this is extremely important to understand because as a college student, more than likely you're going to be working in teams for the rest of your academic career. And another thing that you probably heard in the other presentation is that typically you're going to be doing the same thing once you get into your career field. So it's really important to kind of understand the different stages that teams go through in the development process, because you may be thrown into various teams all the time. You may not be working with the same team for periods of months or even years, so there may be a consistent change, and it's important to understand how to move through those changes so that your team develops appropriately and effectively. So you see here with the Tuckman team development model, just one particular team development model that I'm focusing on for this class. The first step is forming. This is where you are first assigned to work together, and you're trying to develop trust and kind of making contact with each other. And then you kind of move up the ladder here from storming, then to norming, and then performing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I have these available for you in the course room to take a look at. These are located in the team planning area, so you can read a little bit more about each stage. But ideally, the team wants to move from the forming stage, which is the first one here on the far bottom left, to the top right, the performing stage, which is where the members work collaboratively. They care about each other. The group has a unique identity and they work interdependently. This is where the team actually wants to get very quickly. So they want to move from forming to storming to norming to performing as quickly as possible. And sometimes that can be a difficult process to do, but if you understand each of these stages, you may be able to take on some leadership roles or characteristics that would help the team kind of move through these stages a little bit more quickly. The same with this slide that you see here. It breaks it down more specifically with the behaviors and the tasks that are associated with each of these four stages. Again, I have this available for you in the team planning area of the course room, because you certainly want to take a look at this. At the end of your team project, I'm going to have you guys reflecting individually. So as an individual assignment, you're going to be reflecting on these four stages of team development: forming, storming, norming, and performing. You're going to kind of walk me through in written format, but you're going to walk me through and discuss how your team kind of moved through these four stages. Ideally and hopefully you moved through the four stages, but perhaps maybe you didn't quite get to performing, but that's something that I guess you would be focusing on in your short paper. So it's very important that you understand these four different stages and behaviors and kind of tasks that go along with each of these stages. But do keep in mind that it's very important to try to move from forming to performing as quickly as possible. But let me know if you have any questions about those four different stages. So in a nutshell, each step builds on the previous one. Each step is really important to lead to that very last step, which is the performing step. And with each new challenge, the process repeats through these stages. So you may make it through one challenge through these four stages, but then you're faced with another challenge which sets you back to the forming stage. So then you have to kind of work through that again. Maybe there's unclear goals with this particular challenge. So now you've got to work together to move from forming to storming to norming and then performing. And I think what's unique about the Tuckman model, he really focuses on the fact that if you skip any steps, so let's say you go from forming to norming and then performing, it really negatively impacts that performing stage. So perhaps there's some weaknesses there. You think that you're at the performing stage, but perhaps you're not quite there. because you skip some, maybe the storming stage where you work on developing role conflicts or personal conflicts, how to handle those specific situations, and then that comes back to bite you when you get to the performing stage. Moving from forming to storming, this is where you set goals, you establish roles as the leader or the co-leader. You'll notice that in the course room and through the three check-in points that I have for you, this is to help you kind of move through these stages. I have you creating a contract or a charter. I have you establishing roles. This is also where you're going to take risk and figure out how to build trust among your team members. Then you want to try to move from the storming phase to the norming phase. This is where the leader is extremely important, and they must ask for and they must expect results. So perhaps your leader says that they want you to submit something in by a particular time so that the whole team can work on and complete the overall project by the deadline that's been set in the assignment area. This is also a time where it's important that team members listen to each other and that they build trust by honoring commitments. If you say you're going to work on a section of the PowerPoint presentation, this is where you commit to that and you actually do what you say you're going to do. And then this is also where you agree on individual team roles and responsibilities. So it's where, again, you are defining what it is you're going to be doing and you're going to be committing to those responsibilities. And then, of course, the last movement is going to be from norming to performing. This is where you commit time to the team. So you're not just say you're going to do something, you actually say you're going to do it and you actually do it, and you're committing to the team in terms of what you have promised. And you're going to communicate all the time. You're going to make sure that you let the team members know challenges that you're having, how they could help you, how you could help them. You're going to share responsibilities based on each other's strengths. Perhaps one of you is more fluent with using PowerPoint or Prezi type platforms, and you want to take on those responsibilities and kind of even help others to learn how to do the same. And then this is where you also want to keep raising the bar by setting new and higher goals for the team. Nobody wants to settle for a mediocre presentation. So this is where you can say, hey, we said we were going to do this, but wouldn't it be great if now we raise the bar and we do this instead? And this would be really impressive, and this would show what great teamwork we have committed to and we've exuded throughout this particular project. And then I want you to think about your team. As I said before, you're going to be reflecting on this at the very end of your project and how the team actually moved through these 4 stages of the Tuckman model. But I've got some questions here just to help you start thinking and reflecting. So what is your team experience as you review these 4 stages of development? Where would you say your team is right now? And how do you plan to help your team move to that last stage, that's the performing stage, more quickly? So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. Talk to your team leader or your co-leader. Team leaders, co-leaders, please communicate with me if there's any concerns with the group or the team. And I will be reviewing the team planning areas in Blackboard all the time. So if there's issues that I see, I will certainly reach out to you. But I'm looking to see how quickly and effectively you move from forming to storming to norming and then performing. Again, these resources are available for you in the team planning area to review more specifically and to help you as you complete that last reflection assignment at the end of the team project.